Listening to the sound of rooks takes me back to when I was a young boy, captivated by the world of nature. So many fond memories of flocks of these noisy corvids following the plough. Autumn is when they are at their peak, and for most folk simply overlooked as just another black bird in a field, cleaning the earth and gleaning the leftovers from the last harvest. But it is when spring returns that the rook in its rookery makes its presence felt. Everyone looks to the skies, a cacophonous choir, and your first thought is, the rooks are back. The rook, such a distinctive black bird with its slate grey bill, followed by its all-time ally, the jackdaw. Both rooks and jackdaws are gregarious birds which flock together, sometimes in huge numbers. In the 70s, there were 3 million breeding pairs of rooks. Then their numbers started to decline, which coincided with the changing farming practices. Pesticides destroyed the invertebrates, worms and slugs, the main source of food in the rook's diet, and to add insult to injury, rook numbers were controlled for feeding on the newly drilled corn. Today, only 1 million breeding pairs remain. It's the older rooks in the colony that start to nest first, as they pair for life. The matriarchs have an established nest that will only want repairing if it hasn't been destroyed, often having prime position in the colony. Others have to start afresh, and first-time breeders having to find a mate before they start to build. It's not unusual to see 4 or 5 rooks at the edge of a nest, as last year's young won't breed until the following year. They learn the finer points of adulthood, helping their parents to build. Once the stick construction is finished, the nest is lined with leaves, dry grasses and mud, smoothed in the deep bowl of the nest. However, there are those that look for easier alternatives, though stealing from another nest is justly frowned upon and doesn't go unpunished. In a quieter part of the wood, snowdrops brighten the woodland floor. Others also feel the urge to breed. Two's company, three's a crowd. Missel thrushes chase each other, reluctant to give the female up. Woodpeckers drum to attract a mate, and echoes reverberate for all to hear that find a home amongst the trees, as the year gathers momentum. Jackdaws check out a potential nest site. A nearby house supplies daily handouts to the neighbours in the trees, which is gratefully accepted with open wings. In folklore it was said that it was good luck to have rooks on your farm, which gave rise to people believing that rooks would only build their nests where there were kind and generous people. Wealthy landowners thought it a status symbol to have a rookery on their land. It was believed if the colony suddenly departed, it foretold of a calamity for the owners of the land. As nests are completed, mating takes place, which attracts a few onlookers. It is then that the female starts to beg for food, on onset to egg laying. After an incubation period of 18 days, the eggs start to hatch and the male provides a constant supply of food. It is the male who provides all the food, making dozens of trips a day. It is tiring work keeping the family fed, so sometimes wanting a prompt from the female. Who then goes back to the job in hand. Whilst the parents are fully occupied with nest duties, there is little to do for last year's youngsters, other than lounge about and let the days go by. The surrounding countryside takes on that more summery appearance. Cattle graze in the lush green meadows, and the tree's canopy unfurls slowly but surely, showing off the beauty of our landscape. Mare's arrived, and the young rooks are developing fast. How many of us remember the song, "Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 24 blackbirds baked in a pie"? The 24 blackbirds were of course young rooks. On May the 14th, young rooks were culled, and many were eaten in a pie. On one occasion, the disruption caused the rooks to desert the site, as I vividly recall in 1960, in what we called Crow Wood. Thankfully, time moves on. Most of the colony are feeding young, some are leaving the safety of the nest. They will keep within the boundaries of the rookery, and for all the world look like carrion crows, as they won't get that distinctive grey bill until the following spring, when they have had their full moult. With food pouches full, the adults drift to and fro in the endless task of feeding. Soon they will be all out in the meadows, only to return to the rookery at night.